We have Neil Rosen in the house.
In the house, Mr. Rosen.
With Toto.
Toto.
Toto in hand.
How are you?
Yeah, thank you.
This dog, Toto, this one right here was actually owned by Elvis. He's 23 years old, and when Elvis got a little too heavy to chase women and always started buying dogs, and this was the last dog that he bought, and I bought it from Colonel Parker 3 years ago for a can of Spam. So, Toto... What's new, guy?
See you, Neil. A can of Spam. Oh, man.
That Colonel.
Always a hard bargain, that Colonel.
Yeah, really. Okay. Hey, so this is the Toto that's playing in the show.
Yeah, this is the Toto who's going to be in Wizard of Oz starting Thursday, and he's been trained for this role, and so far he doesn't come, he doesn't sit, he doesn't lie down, but he knows how to dig a hole.
He won't.
He real nice on the stage of the Frauenthal.
He won't
He's
like.
going to try and do that on the Frauenthal stage. He's going to dig a hole, and
He won't wait on Captain Kangaroo's leg or anything, will he?
No, but he's
No.
waiting on Neil's leg right now.
But he's supposed to eat a sausage that Professor Marvel, who's one of the characters the captain plays, he's got to steal that sausage. So we haven't tried that yet.
Okay. All right. Now this dog is trained by who?
This dog is trained. We brought in a dog trainer from Milwaukee, and he's been working with him for about 11 weeks.
And the beer obviously helps.
That's right. Right. He gets a little, about 8 ounces of beer a day, and he's feeling good.
Any Spam at all or no?
No, we don't feed him that crap.
Is there any beer he prefers? Any favorite beers he has?
He likes Heineken's.
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that one. Oh, I'm not touching that one. Oh, man.
Now the world goes round. We were talking a little bit to Bill about it. Now he said he saw it twice now, and he wants to see it a third time because he said it's really a marvelous performance.
It's a great show. Yeah, it's today at 2 and 8, 2 shows, and the 5 actors are just wonderful, and it's very different. It's a lot of music that people will say, oh, I didn't realize that Canner and Ebb, who are the music writer and lyricist, wrote, like Cabaret in New York, and a lot of others. And it's done in a different way, and I think it's a change for us after Sound of Music, which is a book musical, and Singing in the Rain, a book musical. This is done in a different form, and it's very good.
Okay, now we know who Dorothy is, and we know who Kate, who does a wonderful job always. Now, did I know Kate used to do Civic Theater before? Now, did you discover her with Civic, or did you discover her some other house? Because I mean, she's excellent.
She's great. Yeah, I think when she was about 11, she came and auditioned for Gypsy.
Okay.
And but I know, yes, she's worked with Judy Johnson at MCT. I don't remember ever seeing her in anything prior to that.
Okay.
And she has since worked in Grand Rapids, and she, as you know, was in little part in Sleepless in Seattle, the movie.
Right.
And I think she has a good chance of getting to Broadway.
Okay, I think you're right. Now, as far as the captain goes, we tried to bribe Bill to get the captain's number, but he wouldn't give it to us. So, is there any way that possibly you can arrange it that maybe possibly the captain can give us a call, even if it? I mean, we really like the 3 of us to talk to him, not just me. I would rather have him, instead of a taped interview, possibly all 3 of us could talk to him.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll try and arrange that.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, that'd be great. Now, the other cast members with the Wizard of Oz, who plays the Cowardly Lion? That's one of Greg's favorite parts because he played that with
Jimmy Spadola, and he's from New York, and he's really cute. Tim Casper plays the Tin Man, and Tim has been with us for a couple years. He's also from New York. He just finished the national tour of Chorus Line. And Scott Willis from New York is doing the Strawman?
Yeah. Scarecrow. Okay.
Scarecrow, right.
Now, who's doing all the makeup and everything? Is this like the heavy duty makeup that's
Oh
going
yeah,
on? Or?
yeah, for the Winkies and for the monkeys and for all of that, it requires a lot of witches. So there's a lot of makeup. Danny Windsor, who has a makeup company in California, who lives here, has been nice enough to, provide us with the stuff we need. And in fact, he just ordered more.
I heard John.
I just want to know, when they said monkey, everybody looked at me. What's up with that?
Oh, I looked at you when he said
I heard John tried out for one of the monkeys, but he
No,
thought it was
one of the
the
dwarf
band.
ones.
He didn't realize it was the monkey thing. And
They-
of course,
we have a lot of flying. I mean, tomorrow morning, as soon as we get the world
John
goes
does it every
round,
night after work,
yeah.
though. It's a lot of flying.
The world goes round set out. We have a company coming in from California called ZFX, and they have to rig up a lot of equipment so we can fly like 5 different people and make the tornado work and all those kinds of things.
That one would ever be nice to get me up.
Now, how did you do the singing in the rain thing? How did you make it rain on stage? You just
It was hard. We built a rain wagon, and John Dupre and the various people in the shop, Michael David, actually built this 24-foot rain wagon so that we recirculated the water. It would come down and then be pumped back up. So it would keep on raining.
Okay.
And it took a lot of time to get it right. So I sat there, my fingers crossed every day, just hoping it would work.
Now, how do you go about your crew? Have you used them for a number of years now, or okay? So you pretty much know your people and know what they can do and what they can't do. And
But what happens? We use a number of IATSE, which is the Stagehands Union. And then some other people as well. And as West Michigan gets, like Van Andel Arena has opened, and there's so many events now in West Michigan, it's harder and harder to find qualified people.
Right.
Because you have to do it for safety purposes, because if we're going to fly people in Wizard of Oz, you don't want them bumping into scenery and each other.
Or like falling out in the audience or something like
Right.
that. Yeah. Now, when the play, getting to your play that you wrote, and Bill was one of the performers in this play.
Yes.
Now, how come
He played the vain guy.
what a surprise? Okay, all right, hang on. Well, now, how come? How many plays have you written in your?
Two.
So 2. Now, have you ever performed any of your plays at?
No,
at the
I'm not an actor.
No. Have you ever had any of your plays at the Frauenthal for Cherry County?
No.
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 How come? I mean, it
I don't
was
know.
sold out, so
I know, but I don't know. I just, it was kind of a fluke that this one happened. I wasn't expecting it to, nor did I really care. It seems like another part of my life that was a long time ago. So.
Now, can you just mention a few? I mean, we've talked about this before, but I mentioned a few of the shows that you were part of as far as writing in the past.
Yeah, Welcome Back, Cotter, Too Close for Comfort, Silver Spoons. Then I wrote something for GTE.
Yeah,
And then
That was just for John.
and then rewrote it.
And then rewrote it. You know, it's funny to think,
Under
my
duress.
daughter's a film editor, and so she called me last week, and she cut 2 national GTE spots. And then she had to send them to Dallas, and I said, "Don't mention my name."
Now, when you wrote these like Welcome Back Cotter, where of course John Travolta became big from that and everything. Now, did you collaborate with I can't think of his name, the guy that played Cotter?
Gabe Kaplan.
Gabe Kaplan.
Well,
'Cause that was
Gabe,
his character
was-
originally, basically.
It was he and a fellow named Eric Cohn created the show, And Gabe tried to influence a lot of power, and at a point, I think the network felt that the kids were the show
Right.
more than Cotter,
Yeah.
and so they paid him $32,500 to stay home and not come to the show.
Oh.
The last year, he wasn't in the show. His wife kind of played Cotter. So at times, he was a difficult guy, and
Well, that explains why he's not working today.
and Travolta, I remember he would show up. You'd see him sitting in his car at 5 in the morning, learning the lines for Saturday Night Fever.
Uh-huh.
And when he was done, at 7 o'clock at night, he'd go and do 5 hours of dance rehearsals.
Okay.
I mean, he was a real committed guy, very nice. Of all of them, he was definitely the nicest.
Okay, all right. Now, what about Ricky Schroeder? Did you ever get a chance to? Did you talk to him
Yeah.
much on Silver Spoons?
It's Rick.
It's
now.
Rick. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Rick Schroeder.
Rick.
Yeah, sorry.
He
It was Ricky
told-
then. Now it's Rick,
Yes,
right?
when I went to that show, I said Ricky, and he says it's Rick. Okay, so. No, he's a nice enough guy.
I mean, as all the people that you've met, all the stars and celebrities supposedly that you've met, because we were trying to pass ourselves off as celebrities at the
right.
subway the other. But anyway, out of all the celebrities that you've met in your lifetime, and what stands out? And which one stands out the most?
Oh boy.
Or just name a few that stand out the most.
I don't. The most fun was writing some things in variety television for Danny Thomas and Sid Caesar. Only because when I was growing up, they were the stars of television. So
Right.
when they walked in and producer would say, you've got to write something for them, that was the most exciting time. But certainly the nicest would be probably Travolta and Ted Knight. Ted Knight was a wonderful guy.
Yeah, was he?
Yeah, terrific.
Now, did you write for that show too?
Yeah,
You did.
yeah.
Now, Ted passed away about how many? It's been quite a few years.
Well,
now.
the show had been picked up. This was too close for comfort for
Right.
another 2 years. And I remember on a Wednesday it was picked up, but on a Thursday we all went to have lunch, and then he went to the doctor for his annual checkup for insurance purposes, and they found cancer, and he was gone in 6 weeks. And so, it was, everybody liked him so
Right.
much. It just happened so quickly. Has to be almost 15 years ago, I
Yeah,
would
was that
think.
the last television show you worked on, or no?
No, then
Oh, Silver Spoons was that? No.
Silver Spoons was after that, and then I worked for Grant Tinker for a couple years, and we did several pilots. We did a short-lived series with Dick Van Dyke about coming back to his hometown where his son owned a summer stock theater,
Okay.
and then a couple other pilots.
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna give you a note passed here to me. As far as to go back to Ted Knight again, it's Mary Tyler Moore Show, of course, is where he got his. Is that where he pretty much got his
Yeah,
start,
I
or was
think
he?
what happened was there was a guy, and I can't remember his name, on Los Angeles television who had white hair, Jerry Dunphy. And he was kind of an old-time newscaster, and he was kind of dumb and vain.
Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't know that that's what they wanted. But Ted Knight walked in, and he did Jerry Dunphy. So they changed the character and made it that character.
Okay. All right. Now, that was one of my favorite shows too. He played an artist, a comic strip artist in the
That was Too Close for
Too
Comfort.
Close for Comfort. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he played the news guy, and it was always fun to watch him because you've been around a lot of TV news and that stuff. How true is that to life as far as the anchor guy being that way?
Oh, maybe not so much now,
Yeah.
but I think every city had that guy.
Yeah.
Had a guy who been around too long, but the public likes him so much
Yeah.
that they last. And I know in Chicago you see it, LA you see it, You know, now I think those positions are more glamorous, and they're looking for somebody who's prettier and you know, will appeal to a younger audience.
So obviously we don't have a chance here, guys.
That's why we're doing. That's why we're doing radio.
Yeah, obviously we don't have a chance. Well, thank you, Neil, very much. And do you have any favorite Elvis songs you want to sing with us before you?
No, I don't. It gets Toto very upset. So in fact, I had to shield his ears when you were playing Elvis before, because I don't brings back.
I suppose he
memories.
Memories, yeah, Hound Dog might get him upset. Now, does Toto speak on command?
No.
Okay. I thought we could get a little stupid pet trick here.
You gonna speak? Huh?
Hey,
You gonna lick the microphone?
Just gonna snip the mic and see if it's another dog.
Don't have him lick my microphone. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Neil.
Yeah, thanks, Neil.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Neil
And
Rosen.
we're gonna hear some more from Lee now. Greg, are you going to sing a song first?
Tonight. No, I'm going to sing tonight. I'm going to save everything for tonight.
Oh,
Down at Records, downtown the Grill.
Okay, Neil, I had to turn the mic up. With you, I had to turn it down. But anyway, okay, you're not coming on. One Elvis tune. We had Jerry Barnum on. I have Jerry Barnum on the other show that I used to have too. But Jerry is a very unique person.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and she's not afraid to talk about it either. How unique she is. But anyway, Jerry has claimed. I hate to say the word claim because I'm a believer.
Okay.
It's a monkey
then
song,
you
isn't
don't
it?
have to say claimed.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen the UFOs yet. But anyway, I'm a believer. We've just been talking to Jerry.
Bus load up there.
But we got a Fury fan van that we think of course, all we can fit in is our crew in the fan van. We won't be able to bring anybody else along.
Well, it's because it's full of Frappuccino.
Yeah, Frappuccino. Yeah, that's true. We do have lots of Frappuccino. We send Joe on a Frappuccino run?
Oh yeah.
Is he going for a Frappuccino run? We need to go over there. Anyway, Jerry from, just Jerry from...
All over.
All over, yeah. Jerry Barnum, and of course you have seen UFOs many times, not just once. We're talking many times here.
Right.
And what was the first sighting?
When I really first got interested in UFOs is when my oldest daughter, and I hate to say her age now, but when she was in high school in Great Falls, Montana, she was doing a report on UFOs. And I thought, how silly, because I was like everybody else at that point. And the more I dug into it, I was working in an art studio there, Legowick Graphic Arts it was called. And the girl Legowick.
Okay, I'm sorry.
A really good Polish name. And the girl that I was working with, her husband was in radio and TV in Great Falls. And she had told me, well, I have something on this, but I don't know how we can prove it. And her husband was taking pictures of a softball game, and the Anaconda plant in Great Falls, they call it Great Falls because there were 7 falls there. And the Anaconda plant was right across the road from a softball field. And while he was shooting the softball game, everybody in the stadium noticed 7 discs flying over the Anaconda plant, which was hydroelectric. And they were zapping what they thought was refueling, looked like. And I swear that a lot of people have said this since, that that's how they recharge their batteries. However, I am not that...
plants. We should check into that.
That well-versed in electronics and whatnot.
Greg recharges his batteries in similar ways.
They had this on tape, and Bill Murray went to put it on the air at the local TV station. They ran it one time, and Malmstrom Air Force Base was there in seconds, practically. They confiscated the tape, and that was the last they saw of it. And
it was written off as a weather balloon, wasn't it?
It was written off as that never happened. Never happened.
Would that be Project Blue Book?
That exactly was Project Blue Book. And I have reference material that tells where Project Blue Book originates and how it originated. And my ex-husband at the time was in the Air Force, 20-year man. He did not believe in it until we actually saw them ourselves. And we had 80 acres up north. And it wasn't just once or twice, it was all the time. And believe it or not, Oscar, I did teach catechism to juniors and seniors up there. And I know that's funny to you because you look at me and say a kook like that.
No. Well, I taught catechism for about a year, so
And we look at you
if
like
I
a
did
cook
it,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, okay.
But no, it was really interesting because this one night that I was leaving the house with my oldest daughter to go to catechism, she was in my senior class, and that was in '69. And we had a very long driveway, and we were at the end of the driveway ready to turn onto the road, and it was a dirt road before we, 2 or 3 miles to get to the tar road. Anyhow, we looked over a grove of pine trees, and there was this long cigar-shaped, look, we thought first was an airliner. And she said, "Is it crashing?" And I said, "No." And we were looking at it very strange, and it was hovering. And it was like, oh my gosh, you just sit there and gasp. And all of a sudden, it started raising straight up, jerking little at a time, and zap, it was gone. So what we did is, instead of running back and telling my husband and my other 2 children to be careful, there's UFOs out there, we took off like a bat out of you-know-where for town. And all of a sudden, when I got into town, I realized, that wasn't very nice. I should have warned them at least. But you don't even think. It's frightening the first time. But after that, it was not frightening.
Did they do anything like make your battery go dead for a while, or lights go dim?
That did not happen. But it has happened to other
Only
people.
in the movies.
Only in the
No,
movies?
no,
Richard
it
Dreyfuss,
has.
yeah.
I believe that has happened. And I believe that they do that. We've had some funny experiences through the years up there. And we were there 3 or 4 years, 80 acres, and there was a lot of things. But when we got into town, and everybody was just gaga over this thing, and all the kids were talking, there was 40 kids in the class because it was juniors and seniors. And so I said, okay, let's clear the air. Just everybody be quiet and just raise your hand if you've had a UFO sighting. And every one of those kids in that class raised their hand. There wasn't one in that area that hadn't seen a UFO. And after I started investigating and reading some books on it from the library and other places, back in the late 30s and early 40s, there was a Boy Scout camp up near Silver Lake, and the leader of the Scouts and all the Scouts had sighted UFOs up there. But in reading about it, even back, I have pictures of it, of Renaissance pictures painted way back, of UFOs in the background of the painting of Mary and Jesus when Jesus was born. And I mean, it hasn't just started, and there's no reason why we should believe that it did. They were here long before we were, I'm sure.
It's the pyramid thing too. I mean, they always thought that was
well, in the Easter Island thing, if you ever read about Easter Island, how they got all of those finished, beautiful stones. They were long, narrow stones up to the top of a mountain so far up that it was impossible to carry them up. They weighed tons and tons and tons, like a building.
Why would aliens want to decorate our beautiful planet?
Well,
with
maybe
rocks?
they
I
were
don't know.
thinking of
They have
taking
anything else to
over,
do on weekends?
Oscar.
Is that like a?
I mean, it was when the Indians had it, I think, or before that even, before there were people here.
It was a marking site or something, a landing site.
You're saying that Martha Stewart is an alien? Is that what you're saying?
And the
Some
destruction
people
of Sodom and
wonder.
Gomorrah
Some people
resembles a
wonder.
nuclear attack. but-
Now, Greg is looking very seriously here. He wants to ask a question.
Yes.
Here's Greg.
Now, Jerry,
Yes.
a lot of people are non-believers when it comes up to UFOs. What are some of the questions that you hear often about the UFOs, and how do you address them?
Mostly the people that do ask me questions want to believe. If they haven't seen them, they want to believe, and I tell them exactly what I saw. And I have no reason to lie, because it doesn't do anything for myself. Makes me look a little bit nutsy if it wasn't
The Inquirer
true.
hasn't called you or anything, then, right?
No, I haven't had any. In fact, I'm waiting for the government to call me and tell me to hush up.
Well, Jerry, don't you really think, though, a lot of the sightings were experimental aircraft that the U.S. Air Force were developing? I mean, you look at the stealth bomber and the design of the stealth bomber, and if we would have seen that airplane 40 years ago, we would have thought it was from outer space.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
There
actually from outer space.
were sightings that were something that we had. Weather balloons, swamp gas. No, swamp gas doesn't look like
I've
that.
seen swamp gas.
Well,
they told us
you've
it was
had that
swamp
one, right?
gas.
You've had-
But yes, I agree. And there were kids.
Like
There was
1968 in Ann Arbor.
there was a time when the college kids thought it was cute to make UFO pictures out of frisbees or whatever.
No, this was over at North Campus area
Right.
in Ann Arbor, where there's actually a space research center at the U of M on North Campus, and there was a lot of supposed sightings, and then one night we actually saw some in that area. Of course, it was over the Huron River, too, so you never knew what was coming out of the Huron River.
Yes, true.
It's what we used to call it the Urn River.
But did you think it was a UFO, or did you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it really did. It really looked like a UFO to me.
But I
Nobody-
have taken
there were
people
quite a
to
few,
see them.
The Ypsilanti Press took pictures, too, and it was written off at that time as swamp gas.
Uh-huh.
No,
and
I have-
everybody believed that because you got near the Huron River and you could smell the swamp gas, but they actually look metallic to me.
Yeah. Well, that would be from the Huron River, probably,
It could
too.
very well have been. There are some strange things in that river.
Jerry, I had a question for Jerry.
I
He's so
worked-
deep in thought, doesn't he?
I saw this bolt of lightning come down and he forgot it.
No.
I'm so deep in thought about this, and I just forgot the question.
You were snorting
Well, I
swamp
worked
gas last
in-
night, is what it was.
To answer your first question, I worked in sales engineering in Sheldon Company. And this one fellow there was a young guy at the time, and he wasn't married. And my boss there, who was a designer and very, very reserved and laid back, we got to talking about it, and this kid heard us talking. And my boss had seen one up in Canada, the results of one. They're just like here, they're good and bad. And I don't believe they're there to hurt us, but I believe that there are good and bad up there, the same as down here. Like Saddam is not up there, but he's down here, and we have him. So, but he had told me this story, and I'll tell it sometime, about what he saw, and he didn't want it repeated because he was afraid people think he was nuts, and he had a very important job. Well, this kid said he wanted to see them because he had heard
We're
me
picking
talking
up
about
aliens right now.
Oh, yeah, right. They're talking to us.
They're talking to us. That's
That's
right.
info.
it. And you can pick them up, I understand, from some of my readings. But anyhow, so he wanted to come up to our 80 acres up north and see them. And I said, well, I can't guarantee you'll see them, but we see them often. And he came up there, and this is a funny part, and it gets deeper. And after dark, at a certain time, it seemed like we had a huge place, 40 acres on one side of the road and 40 on the other. And if we would get way back, we had a big garage built. It was 3-stall practically with a room behind it. Anyhow, back past the garage, there was a huge indentation, like maybe an acre of land that was like a bowl, shaped like a bowl. And there were things growing there, bushes and everything, but it was still sunken. And there was no gas underneath it. It was already tested. And at night, if you tried to walk back there, and we would go back there during the day and pick berries, there's all kinds of wild blackberries, and there were pine trees back in the woods. There was woods all over. When we would get back there at night, you could only go so far, and it was like you're hitting an electrical barrier, and my hair would actually crackle. And it was very frightening, and I only did it once, and I would never go back there again after dark. Well, he went back, and when he went back, he was laughing all the way, and it sounded like a bull moose going through there. Oh, they got me, he would say. And all of a sudden, we heard nothing, and his girlfriend was there. He came up in a pickup truck, and she said, now what? What is he doing? Well, all of a sudden, we heard him tearing back, and he begged me, please don't tell the rest of the guys. Don't say a word, please. I don't want him to know. And he took off. But he met the same thing that I did. And the only thing that he said to me the next day at work was, I did feel it, and I know what you said was true, and I just don't even want to think about it.
E.T. call home.
Jerry, do you feel that the people on the Earth, that we have beings from other planets?
Yeah, like Men in Black. The Men in Black thing. Do you think it's actually happening right now? If you've seen the movie, it's that they say the aliens
I
are
did
already
not
on the
even.
planet.
I don't have to see the movie. I've seen my own movies, and I really don't like getting too deep into like X-Files and that. I have watched it a couple times, and it really brings a lot back. And my oldest daughter, had an experience with one, and I thought sure that they were going to be taking her because she was walking in a trance, ready to go outside. And I looked out, and there was one out there, and I caught her about 3 o'clock in the morning, ready to disappear, I thought, but it scared me. And so when we moved from there, I thought that would be the end of it. We saw them since then. But I do believe that there are people down here that, I don't think I'm one of them. I hope not anyhow. that was Oscar's next question.
Yeah.
that have been contacted or have been put here, and this has been going on since Bible times and before, I'm sure. It's not just started. And we're very naive to think that when God made Earth and put people on it, that was the only thing he did with this whole universe. I mean, there's galaxies and galaxies all over out there. And why would it just be Earth?
I'm sorry. I'm curious as to, you say this goes back, or the sightings of UFOs. Why are the sightings always the same? Wouldn't you think? I mean, look at how we progressed.
But the sightings are not the same.
But the cigar-like shape thing, it's always the same. It's always in a desolate area. It was big. It was yellow. I saw it.
They've been over cities. They've been over, and the material I have, we don't really have the time to get into it. It would take hours and hours. But the material.
Oh, sure, let's just go on.
The material that I have, they've been all over France. They've been over every country in Europe, and they've been in cities. They've been they've been sighted by people in the Air Force when they've been sighted by the astronauts going up there. They've been sighted by everybody, and they're not the same. We saw one that was over. We'd rented a trailer when we first came back from Great Falls and parked that behind my in-laws' house. And I thought there was a police car outside, and this was way after dark. Everybody had retired. And I see this light flashing and flashing. I thought, what is going on? I got up and looked. And this is the first time my ex-husband agreed that that was something different. But I got up and looked, and it was like a police car with a light. It was a round disc above the pine trees, round, with a flashing light going around and around, and it was red and yellow and blue just flashing all around.
Well, before we go on break, Jerry, if there are people out there that have any questions, please call 759-0544 for Jerry.
Or if there's any sightings, anybody else that has a sighting out there, 759-0544, 759-0544. Give us a call. If you want to.
We like that diversity in aliens. So.
Yeah.
That's a diversity thing.
The one question though, before we play some music here and take a break, is the one question I've asked you before is, how come now? First of all, have you seen any of Muskegon?
Yes.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yes.
And the other question is, how come you think you've seen so many of them? And
anybody,
the rest of us
how many
haven't?
times do you go out at night and look up at the sky? How many times does anybody go out and really stare at the sky?
Well, every time I come home late, my wife punches me. I look at the sky quite a bit.
You see stars and aliens.
I see stars.
You
yeah.
don't see them unless you look for them.
Okay.
I've got the Ann Arbor weather forecast up. It's going to be great weather in Ann Arbor for the big game this afternoon. It's going to be partly sunny this afternoon, high around 40 in Ann Arbor, with a northeast wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. In the big bowl with 102,000 fans screaming.
So good weather to see a UFO, too. I think so.
Well, I got Greg sitting next to me.
759-0544.